The film begins immediately after the first film ends, with Clown Art resurrected in a morgue and slitting the forensic doctor's throat. Then he pops the examiner's eye in order to replace the one he lost, and also appears to be carrying the examiner's brain. Replace your lost brain matter. Art then went to a laundromat, washed his clothes, killing another customer there, and disappeared into the night. We also learn that Art sees visions of a psychotic clown girl named the Little Pale Girl, who shares his joy in murderous ways. With Halloween approaching again, the film skips almost a year later. A teenage girl named Sienna is making her own Halloween costume from the work of her dead father. The costume is an angel warrior, a character her cartoonist father created before his death. Having dinner, Sienna told her mother Barbara that her brother Jonathan was going to dress up in clown art. Barbara forbade him to do so, and Sienna later confided to her mother that she was worried about Jonathan's state of mind. Played the one and only Vicky in the TV scene of the first film, the survivor who survived Art's last attack, albeit severely disfigured in her struggles, was interviewed as described in the first film. Vicky later attacked and nearly killed the interviewer. That night, Sienna had a dream that she was shooting an ad for a clown cafe and cereal owned by Art. She watched in horror as Art killed all the other actors before shooting her with a flamethrower. When she woke up, she found her room was on fire, not sure if this is due to dreaming or lighting a candle. Barbara put out the fire, but not before it burned the wings of Sienna's costume and burned a sword her father had left her before she died. The next morning, the entire school is discussing Vicky's attack on the interviewer. Vicky has been sent back to the mental hospital. Sienna has a panic attack when she hears what happened to Vicky. Her friends Brooke and Ellie console her. Meanwhile, Jonathan finds 2 other children at his school soiling the possum's carcass. Jonathan later found Art playing with the same possum corpse in the school hallway. Jonathan could also see the little pale girl. Art threw the possum at Jonathan and ran away. School principal accuses Jonathan of bringing the dead possum into the school and reports it to Barbara. Sienna went to the Halloween store to buy a new pair of wings after school. There she found Art. Although the Joker upsets her, he has no interest in killing her. After Sienna leaves, Art locks the door, maims and kills the clerk. Then he used the clerk's head for Halloween decorate. Sienna returns home and learns that Jonathan is in trouble due to the possum incident. Talking to the siblings, Jonathan confided that Art was the one who framed him. Despite Sienna's claims that she doesn't believe him, despite her own artistic experience, she asks her brother why he is so obsessed with Art Clown. Jonathan revealed that he had his father's old sketchbook and showed it to Sienna. They see their father sketching a picture of Art and the warrior angel holding Art's beheading in the first film. Sienna refuses to believe their father predicted Art's arrival, but later told their mum she believed Jonathan's story that he didn't bring the possum carcass into the school. Sienna took a shower and put on her angel warrior costume. While Barbara wasn't thrilled with how revealing the costume was, she admitted it was well made and would have made their dad proud. Sienna goes to the club to meet Brooke and Ellie. Meanwhile, Ellie is handing out trick or treat while her parents aren't around. Art passes by, but promises to leave if she gives him candy, which she eventually does. Although he promised, Art later broke into the house and attacked Ellie. He brutally cut her body, including slitting her back and scalped her. Later, when Ellie's mom gets home, she finds Ellie barely alive and Art laughs at her skinned body. Later we see Art decapitating his mother and using her head as a bowl to distribute Halloween candy to trick-or-treaters. At the club, Sienna is introduced to Brooke's boyfriend. They drank, danced, and had a good time. Meanwhile, Barbara is at odds with Jonathan over the possum affair and his obsession with Art. Barbara rips up Dad's sketchbook and calls her in Jonathan bitch. Jonathan ran out of the house, but only looked like he messed up the family car covered smashed pumpkin eggs and shaving cream with toilet paper. Barbara calls Sienna, who tries to defend her brother. Sienna also expressed her true love for her mother, which calmed Barbara. Jonathan was walking outside when he saw the little pale girl and ran home. Meanwhile, Barbara starts cleaning the car. She was surprised at Art sitting in the car as she wiped off some shaving cream. Joker shot her in the face with a sawed-off shotgun, killing her instantly. When he got home, he found Art feeding mashed potatoes to Barbara's body. He escaped, but Art caught and drugged him down. Art left the house with Jonathan, but also with Sienna's sword. Meanwhile, Brooke ends up telling Sienna that she's adding some jasmine to Sienna's drink, hopefully to help Sienna relax. As the women danced, Molly had a nervous breakdown when she saw the little pale girls in the crowd. Brooke and her boyfriend drag Sienna out of the club and into his car. As they drive Sienna home, she gets a call from the little pale girl who plays Jonathan. The little pale girl claims he is trapped in an abandoned souk and needs her help. The trio arrives at the fair and Sienna goes to Jonathan. Meanwhile, Brooke told her boyfriend that Sienna and Jonathan's father had a brain tumor, became crazy and abusive, and eventually died in a violent car accident. The two then took drugs in the car and made out. While pale, the girl texts Sienna on Jonathan's phone, telling her to find Jonathan at the haunted amusement park, the ride called Horror. Brooke's boyfriend goes out to pee and is attacked by Art, who ripped out his genitals. Brooke escaped under Art's pursuit. Art chases Brooke to the Terrifier amusement park, brutally beats the maimed, throwing acid in her face, and kills her with the bat he holds the sharp object on. Sienna finds Brooke's body before meeting Art. A conscious Jonathan also appeared. Sienna told Jonathan to run when Art beat her. The siblings manage to escape and are followed by Art through the amusement park. He inflicted extensive damage to both, including whipping them until their backs were bleeding. They fought him to the best of their ability, including stabbing him in the head and shooting him with his own sawed-off shotgun. However, Art, no matter what they do, they won't stay long. In the end, he managed to knock Jonathan down before stabbing Sienna with his sword. He threw Sienna's body into a pit, and she suddenly appeared in the Joker Cafe from a dream. Sienna was trapped in the tank and finally lost consciousness. Art threw the sword aside and approached the unconscious Jonathan. As she was about to die, Sienna's sword began to glow and heal her wounds. Sienna regained consciousness and rushed out of the tank. She escaped the reality of the clown cafe and returned to the horror amusement park. She grabs Art's discarded sword and finds him eating her unconscious brother. She viciously attacked Art, catching her off guard. Ultimately, Sienna beheads the evil Joker. As her father's sketchbook foreshadowed, siblings embrace serious injuries and trauma, but are alive and victorious. To their surprise, a little pale girl appeared. Instead of attacking the siblings, the little pale girl picked up Art's decapitated head and walked away. Siblings leave horror amusement park for help credits roll. End credits scene. Vicky is still in the asylum as the nurses celebrate Halloween. Vicky woke up in the night and started bleeding profusely from her private parts. Vicky painted Victoria plus Art on the wall inside the heart with blood. Then she supernaturally get pregnant and start producing whatever is in her body within minutes. When one of the carers checked on her, they were horrified to find Vicky holding the decapitated head of Art, which Vicky had given birth to. The head is clearly alive and smiling in orderly screams.